Good Thursday morning, and welcome to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning, we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I'll introduce you to our handsome young guest here in just a second. You're fortunate enough to get to see him on Facebook. You'll also see some cool graphics this morning if you're on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page, some helpful graphics as we discuss this very important topic. Elections, they're coming up, if you haven't heard. Today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. We're going to have a guest who is a candidate for the Haralson County Commission chairman race, and then up until May 21st, pretty much every show is going to be a candidate for the upcoming races for Haralson and Carroll County. Here's a scary number. Let me start out the show with this. There are 194 different ballot combinations in Carroll County alone. We're going to talk about those and talk about to make sure you're registered and that you get the right ballot and you partisan, nonpartisan, Democrat, Republican ballot, all that good stuff this morning with elections supervisor Keith West, brand new, still a young guy in this role. Been there for 5 months at this point.
Yeah, not even that, but it's been a quick learning curve. We've processed 2 elections already.
In the fire, yeah.
So it's been an interesting 3.5 months.
Let me first, before we dive into that, as an election supervisor, I need your opinion on this. Was Larry David guilty?
Was Larry David guilty?
Yeah, of election interference.
I wasn't on the jury, so I don't know.
Okay. Figured we threw out there. I said there's a chance he wouldn't know. It's curb your enthusiasm.
Okay.
And it had the finale.
You dive deeper into these things than I do. I only worry about Carroll County and the integrity of our vote. Okay.
Fabulous. Very, very good. All right. Okay. Let's talk about it. We do have this election coming up. It's May 21st, right? And it is Tuesday, but there's a 3-week early voting period. Is there still time for people to register to vote in this? Is that a good place to start, you think?
It is. Let's see if I can get those dates correct because there's so many dates. Okay. The last day to register to vote is the 22nd of April.
Okay.
I have to look at my notes because we have so many different dates we're working with now. The last day to request an absentee ballot for the primary is May 10th. I don't know whether to say I caution you. I question whether absentee ballot's the best route. If you have the capabilities to come into early vote, you've got 3 weeks to early vote. Because of the mail situation right now, we are processing just like we always do, but we can't count on the timing of when you're going to get your ballot and when it's going to come back.
And for people to do that and maybe not get it, I mean, they're only going to be able to complain. They're just going to be SOL at that point, right? I mean, there's not going to be some big protest that's going to have an effect.
Well, that's true. And if you put your ballot back in the mail to send it to us, and it doesn't get here by the end of the day on election day,
they're not postmarked.
Not postmarked.
Okay.
Has to be there.
Has to be there.
Has to be in the election office. So we're counting on the mail to do a better job than they have the last few weeks. But that's just a question you should have in your mind. And if you are capable, I suggest you come in and early vote. I suggest that as many people as possible come in and early vote, because then if we have a large turnout on election day, there are less people that need to vote that day, and the lines will be shorter and your wait time will be shorter. Carroll County doesn't have a lot of wait time, or I've not seen it, and even in the 2020, the reports I get, that it wasn't a terrible situation. Some of the larger counties had some difficult wait times. Let's talk about early voting just a minute, since we're talking about the schedule. Of course, Election Day is May 21st. Let me make one thing that's kind of needs to be made clear. May 21st, you vote in your precinct. The early voting locations don't show up at the election office because we're not set up there, and we will not take your vote there. We will refer you back to your precinct.
And I've seen that. I've been in your office at 6:30, half hour, 20 minutes before it's going to close, and people do show up at the main elections office on Election Day, and it's like, hey, then they were like, well, how am I going to get to my place in 15 minutes? It's like, well, you're probably not.
Well, there are some laws that allow for that. You can go to, in the last 30 minutes, you can choose another precinct and go and do a provisional ballot. And that will be just reviewed to make sure that you were supposed to vote and all that. But that's a process. It's hands-on. The election board looks at every one of those provisionals and reviews them, make sure that they're accurate, and should be should be counted.
But don't take advantage of that if you don't have to.
Please don't. That day is going to be as hectic as we need it to be, and let's not make it any more so. Early voting schedule. 997 Noonan Road. We are not at College Street. You go there, you're going to see an empty lot.
Yeah, that's always a lot. Yeah. Not even a building.
Not even a building anymore. So we're at 997 Noonan Road. West Georgia Tech used to be there, and we're on the backside. For early voting, we will enter behind our building, kind of between us and the tax office, through a big metal gate. And you'll go into what used to be the rec room for West Georgia Technical, and that's where you'll vote. We've tried to make it as level and convenient as possible. That's the best we can do with what we have right now, but we're trying to make it the best we can.
I think it is pretty convenient. I mean, it's not too far off.
Starting April 29th through May 3rd, the times that you can early vote, 8:30 to 5, and again, that's at 997 Noonan Road. And then May 4th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., that's one of the Saturdays. And then May 6th through the 10th, 8:30 to 5, again at Noonan Road. And then May 11th, that's the second Saturday, 9 to 5. May 13th through 17th, 8:30 to 5 at the election office and also at Powell Park in Villa Rica. Now, early voting, and let me give you that address for Powell Park, just if somebody's in the area, that's going to be the best place that week. 524 Leslie Drive, Villa Rica.
And that's just for the Carroll County voters, Carroll County portion.
Yes, that is just for Carroll County voters. Yes, we've had some Alabama voters. We've had some Heard County voters, and they'll come in the office and want to vote. But just need to make that clear.
I was thinking more Douglas County as being, Villa Rica.
That comes a little bit of a confusion, especially in the Mirror Lake area. That's so split up right there. You got City of Villa Rica. We can talk about all that, but okay, let's dive into. Okay, I've covered your opportunities to vote. Okay, as far as dates and times, let's talk a little bit about the ballots. The ballots, you said it, 194 ballots. Now, we have to confirm what our job is to take that, and the states put what we have qualified and what they have qualified and what the U.S. has qualified, and they put it on ballots. But we have different districts within our county, so we build combos. Combos are ballot types based on where the districts cross. So we have one precinct that has 11 combos in it. That's you think about it. The different lines, you've got school board, that's a different district. You got commissioner, that's a different district. You have your county at large, which doesn't really affect it because all of them are on that ballot, but they all have to be on that ballot. And then you've got your state representatives. You got three different state representatives offices up for vote, and then you've got 2 Senate districts. So all those different divisions apply to wherever you live.
Can you think of one, picture one home that's going to have so many different, like 10 different ballots just for that one home?
No, it's not like that, Colin.
Well, I mean, I'm picturing them all just kind of swerving together. I don't think that they'll have, but that you just maybe have to print one ballot for that one house because it's affected so much.
No, there's nothing. Yeah, I can't think of anything that's limited that much.
Yeah.
Most of them are, of course, all the districts are done balanced. I checked our county commission districts, and they're within 1,000 people, voters of each other within the district, and I think that's reasonable.
Trying to make it hard on you.
Yeah, but it does get to be confusing. All right, how do you know who you should vote for, or how do you know who is up in your districts? And that districts is plural because you have school board. I have a different school board member than you have. So you have that. You have county commissioners, and the 5th district for the county commissioners has 7 different candidates. Mm-hmm. I don't vote in the 5th. I vote in the 6th on county commissioners. So it's interesting as to how it plays out. But getting back to it, the best place to find exactly who you have the opportunity to vote for in your complete ballot will be myvoterpagega.com.
And what information do you have to get on that page?
On that page, you can get your precinct, the address of your precinct. You can print your precinct card. So we tried to push everybody during the split between the 6 and the 30 Senate race, our special election. We tried to push everybody there because it would tell you that happened so quickly, it would tell you as soon as it happened that you had been changed, if you were changed.
Did you find out the people, like for that last election? I mean, that last election was rushed upon everybody, so I guess you couldn't give them too hard of a time. But were there many people who found out they were in a different section or a different district, and they
to this day people are confused about the 6 and 30, and we try our best to explain it. Best way is by looking at a map, but it doesn't zero in enough. Again, to get the right details, myvoterpagega.com, and we've got a QR code, and I know that's bad words in elections, but this will take you directly to the myvoterpagega.com.
And what you'll need is your first name, initial, your last name, and date of birth. That's all the information you'll have to provide to find out.
So with that, you will get all the districts that apply to your home site.
All right. Hey, Keith, let me take our first break here.
Okay.
And for those of you listening, Betty Kaysen has sent a message to let us know that we have some street closures in Carrollton due to trees and down power lines, and encouraging everybody to be aware and cautious this morning. Bradley Street, East Center, Belva, and Cranmer. Is there a Cranmer? Is there a Cranmer, or maybe it's Kramer? Is there a Cranmer? All right, Cranmer. So we got Bradley, East Center, Belva, and Cranmer are the ones that she remembers off the top of her head where they're power lines down, the street closed. So Bradley's pretty well-used street, so be aware of that one especially. Public Works have the streets blocked, and they're working with the power company to get the lines up, and they're working to clear the trees at this time. So at least be aware of these four, and where you're going this morning. Don't speed extra more than you normally do on the wet roads, and then of course because you never know, turn a corner and there could be a tree there on the road. So thank you, Mayor, for sharing that with us. We're going to take our first break. Here is a conversation with Keith West. It's prep. It's 101 for Carroll County elections, which are coming up. Early voting begins at the end of this month for the May 21st election. And we'll come back and we'll all get educated a little bit more with Keith here. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
844, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my guest here, the election supervisor for Carroll County. His name is Keith West. And we're just going through all the things that we need to be aware of with the elections coming up here in the next few months. If you have any questions or comments, please post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I will share those with Keith. We have touched on a lot already in the first segment, and I probably spoke too much and ate up a lot of his time, so I'm going to shut up for the next 15 minutes so you get out everything that we need to know, Keith.
The main thing that I want you to know is it is confusing. It's been confusing to us, but we are very detailed. We've looked at this. We've done our very best to make sure that all the candidates are on the right ballots and those things. and I can't overemphasize myvoterpage.com, myvoterpagega.com. Be sure it's Georgia. I don't want you going to Louisiana and look at theirs. Anyway, the thing that in this election, one of the things that I keep asking, especially when somebody's calling in wanting an absentee ballot or wanting to get an application for an absentee ballot, is I want to vote for president. There will be no president contest on this election. This is the general primary. We've already had the primary for the presidential office. So the Democrats and the Republicans have, in the state of Georgia, have their candidate for the state of Georgia for the presidential office. This is U.S. Congress. This is state, Senate, and representative. This is county officials. In our county, a lot of those are unopposed. Some, and this is what gets confusing, is that you have a Republican ballot and you have a Democratic ballot. When you walk into the voting place, they will say, they won't say, they will flip the poll pad over and say you choose whether you want Democrat, Republican, or nonpartisan ballot. So it's your choice. Well, what does that mean? If the candidate has registered and qualified as a Republican, they will be on the Republican ballot.
So in the District 5 race for Carroll County Board of Commissioners, there are 7 candidates on there, and each of them has the R beside their name. So if you ask for that Democrat ballot because you want to vote Democrat in, say, the state race or something like that, you're not going to get the vote in that District 5 race if you live in District 5.
That's correct. Even though you live in District 5. Mm-hmm. You will not, if you choose a Democratic ballot, you will not see Terry Langley's name on there. You will not see Michelle Morgan's name on there. And if you choose a Republican ballot, they have to declare their partisanship. That's part of the qualifying.
And the thing about, not to suggest any strategies or anything, but if you're a Democrat, there really is, there's no challenge races for Democrats in Carroll County this time around. No, there is one. That's for Congress, right?
Yes.
There's one, the District 3 congressional race. That is the only one that is, there's a challenged race on the Democrat side.
Yeah, I'm looking at this to make
sure. Just to confirm. But so if you're committed to voting in that one, go ahead and get the Democrat race. But if you want to have a say in this, it really won't hurt you to get that Republican ballot, right? I mean, it'll just mean that you might get a mailer from a Republican next year just because you voted one time with Republican primary. It may, small
chance. But in the state of Georgia, the partisanship is not something that's registered with the elections office. We don't know whether you're Republican or Democrat, and really don't care. That's for the office. That's for those parties to decide.
Mm-hmm. So just more of a, just wanting to be the R or the D here. Because if you ask for a nonpartisan, are you going to get the?
No, you're not going to get anybody from a Republican or Democratic side.
Okay.
If you just want to say, I am not a part of a party, and these are the offices. Now, the nonpartisans, you've got all your Superior Court judges. You have your school board, county school boards there. Mm-hmm. So those kind of things are still on the nonpartisan. But you get the choice. Going back to myvoterpage.com, you can look at all 3. You choose, and you can look at all 3 of the ballots that apply to you. Beforehand. So again, that is the best place to go to get the best information. Then you can go and search your candidates and see who you want to vote for. Because they're there, they're up, they're running. Here's one of my copies. I printed all 3, and it told me who I would vote for.
For early elections and for Election Day, before we take our final break here, Keith, what do I need to bring to identify myself when I'm going to vote?
You need to bring a picture ID, state license, driver's license, state-approved identification. Some people don't have a driver's license, but they have a state-approved identification. That's what we need, is something like passport, a gun carry permit.
Is it,
I mean, it's a picture ID, and it's approved by the state.
Yeah. So that'll do. Remember that Election Day.
And we can look it up.
All right, time right now is 8:50. We'll take our final break and come back. And again, encourage you if you have any questions. Perhaps you missed the first segment. And again, perhaps I talked over Keith too much and just confused something that he laid out so perfect for you. and maybe like us to revisit that, please feel free to post it to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and we will touch on that again in the final segment. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. We are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page this morning, so please, in our last 8 minutes, if there are any questions you'd like to throw out there, or if you just want to give kudos to Keith, which some people already have here. I'm Colin Worthington, by the way. We're talking about the upcoming elections and how Carroll County voters should approach this as it comes up here. Justin Richards down in Bowden says, thanks, Keith, for doing a great job. And Quasi Hudson up in Billerica says great information. So thanks to both of you guys for tuning in this morning. There are also, as far as when we vote on this, vote for these the elections that we've already kind of talked about a little bit, there's also questions from Democrats and Republicans, and as we've said, they're kind of straw poll questions. Is that anything to say about those, or those? Anything you want to say about those?
Well, I guess
they take up space.
I guess we need to rename the show. It's called myvoterpage.com. So,
are these straw poll questions on myvoterpage.com?
Yeah,
okay. They still have a sample ballot there, right?
It's part of the sample ballot.
Yeah.
Just to verify, yes, they're on my sample ballot. So, myvoterpage.com again is your best place because it will give you the opportunity to read these straw poll, non-binding questions that there's 9 on the Republican ballot and 8 on the Democratic ballot. So they're straw polls. They're wanting to know your opinion about some things.
And they potentially could affect how much they try to push legislation in coming years. And
but they're not binding. They don't create legislation.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point.
Just gives them a direction.
But if you want to be efficient in your voting, and that's one of the things that I look to, because we don't want you to have to wait in line while people read these questions, you can go and look. I mean, you can look at all 3 of the different ballots. Now, they're all inclusive. My caution on myvoterpage.com gives you specific to you. If you look at the sample ballot that we'll have on hand, it's a composite ballot because I can't do 194 sample ballots, and say, okay, this is your ballot, now read this. So there are composite ballots that will be in the polling places. So you sit there and read those. The questions will be the same. Once you choose Democratic or Republican, the questions on the Democratic will always be the same, and the questions on the Republican will always be the same.
Well, we do have about 5 minutes. Somebody else said you're doing a great job, too, and said that she knew it. But Ms. Halsey, I believe she works for the Carroll, she works for Carroll County government. Ashley Halsey,
yes.
Familiar with her? Yeah, she said good job. She knew that you would. And she did set up the show this morning. She even did design the fine graphics that we're using on Facebook. So if you had a chance to see those, you may want to applaud those graphics as well. All right, Keith, we've got about 5 minutes. I guess unless we got something else, maybe we should just recap for those joining us. Some people just pull up to work at 9:55 or 8:55 and get a chance to get a composite of what we talked about in the last 4 minutes and 42 seconds. What's the most important things? I know we could have just said my voter page, but say that internet's out today for a lot of people with the storms. There's probably nowhere to go see something already pasted up anywhere, right, in
Yeah.
the elections office. So
We've got the composite ballots in the elections
In the
office.
elections office.
Oh, and we're also putting the QR code in all the libraries. So you'll be able to go and you'll just scan that and it'll take you to myvoterpage.com.
there we go.
So I can't emphasize the need for you to really look at your vote. Look at how you're going to vote. Make a determination before you get there whether you're going to vote Democratic, Republican, or nonpartisan in this election. So those are some of the things. Just do the research. Know your candidates. Know who you have the opportunity to vote for.
And again, early voting, when does that start? April 28th?
Let me get my page.
April 22nd.
Second.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's the last day to register to be able to vote in this election is April 22nd. The last day to request an absentee ballot for the primary is May 10th. And then mail-in absentee ballots must be received by 7 p.m. on Election Day, May 21st.
Yes.
And again, not postmarked. It has to be received.
Received.
And again, you're encouraging people to consider that there could be some issues with the mail as we've experienced over the last couple of months. And that's just not going to be an excuse at that point. So
By law, that's our limit.
early voting, when's that start? And where it'll be at two places eventually. I think for 3 weeks in Carroll County, or 3 weeks in Carrollton, 1 week in Villa Rica.
It starts April 29th through May 3rd is the first week, and then May 4th is a Saturday. It's open 9 to 5. May 6th through 10th, 8:30 to 5. And then May 11th is the second Saturday, and all of that is going to happen at 997 Noonan Road, which is our elections office. And then May 13th through 17th, you'll have dual early voting at 997 and then also at Powell Park in Villa Rica.
And typically, you get your driver's license. You can register to vote. You do that. Or are there other ways you do that all online too? If you
if you can go to the Secretary of State's office, you can call us. We'll send you an application by mail. There are a number of different ways, but just look up registering to vote. Just Google it, and it'll take you to a couple of places. Be careful. Make sure it's a government entity that you're filling in all that information to.
And not Carroll County, Arkansas. I mean, I've called Carroll County, Arkansas for police reports before. Well, it's a long time ago. All right, It's a long time ago, but I did make that mistake once. Keith, thank you.
I'm glad
for
to do it.
informing us. And again, anything else we want to touch on?
I can't think
call
of it.
Keith at home.
Too many people have my cell phone. Don't start that. Do call us. We're here to serve, and we're here to make sure this election is good quality and every vote's counted that should be counted. That's our purpose.
And I know you care about it. You've been doing this for five months now.
Yes.
Newer staff, I'm guessing too. I mean, some people.
We have one
dropped off.
person that's remaining from the original.
Yeah, but you guys are kicking butt. I mean, I know how much this means to you. So,
We're trying to do a good job.
Yes, thank you for doing that, and thank you for listening this morning. Before we do head out, I want to remind you, Carrollton residents, Mayor Betty Kaysen reached out and said she wanted to let everyone know that there are some street closures due to trees down and power lines down this morning, encouraging you to be cautious out there. Roads are still wet. There's debris on the roads. And then again, as she said, other places there are trees and power lines down. The ones that she knew of when she reached out was Bradley, East Center, Belva, and Cramner. Public Works do have those streets blocked off, and they're working with the power company to get the lines up, and they're working to clear the trees. I knew at one point this morning there were about 2,000 people in Haralson and Carroll County anyway that had power outages. I'm sure those numbers have improved since I last checked. But again, thank you for watching and listening this morning. Tomorrow morning we do start the onslaught of election programs. We've got Carroll County Commission Chairman Ronnie Ridley is seeking re-election. He'll be on the program tomorrow, so and that'll be for Haralson County. But tons of races lined up for the next 3 weeks that we'll be discussing on the Community Voice program. So be safe out there on this Thursday. We will be back tomorrow with more on the Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.